We're ready for our next segment in Canva, and it's going to be about grids and frames. Let me catch up on the fast forward here. I'm already on Canva. I've already created a new design. I did a flyer. I've already changed the background color. So that's where I am, right? Get to Canva, make a new design, whatever size you want really is okay. Change the background color if you want to. Let's go. Grids and frames work like this. You start on elements. You go there first. And I'm going to start with grids. Grids and frames are two different things. They kind of do a similar job, but I'll show you. All right, so grids, you see them listed right here. I'm going to go ahead and click where it says See All, and I can see all of the different grid layouts. All right. Well, I think, gosh, you can pick whatever you want, but I'm just going to click on this one right here. I'm going to size this grid. You could leave it, I mean, later when we're doing designs, you could leave that to be the size of the whole page, but I'm going to size it down some. I don't want it to take up the whole page in this case. So I'm going to size it down some. I'm going to get it placed on the page where I want. And so I've got a grid and I've put it on the page. That's the first step. Now what we do with these different sections of the grid is we fill them with photos. So now what I'm going to do is jump over to photos, and I'm going to keep my theme going here. I'm going to use my coffee theme. I'll continue with that, but you can use whatever pictures you want. They just have to be school appropriate. So I've got a grid. I've got to fill all 4 of those areas of that grid with a photo. So I'm going to flip through here a little bit on my coffee images, and here's somebody holding a coffee cup. Okay, so I click that and it gets placed onto the document. But now what I have to do is just kind of drag it and drop it on the segment of the grid where I want it to appear. So I'll just drop that one right in there. All right, so let me go ahead and fill this grid real quickly. Here's another coffee cup. I'll click it and I'll drag it onto a section of the grid and drop it there. All right, let's take this coffee bean. Well, that's one of the ones from the Pro, which it would be okay. It's got a watermark on it and stuff like that, but I think I'll drop this one down here. And I need one more. All right, let's go. I like that one. And I'm going to drop that one right in there. All right, so you see the idea behind a grid. Now here's something I want you to know about a grid. One of the things that is true about a grid, you can, by the way, do some of the adjustments that we talked about. And if I am remembering correctly, it will only adjust, it doesn't adjust the entire, yeah, it just adjusts the image that you can kind of click on an individual image. So when I'm adjusting that saturation, it's only adjusting the picture that's on the bottom. It's not adjusting everything for the whole grid. But you can play with those if you want to. But here's what I want to show you. If something didn't get placed into the grid quite the way you wanted, if I double click, I can make that picture a little bit bigger. Right? See what I can do here? This is kind of repositioning the picture inside the grid. So I could make it a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller, make sure that I have it kind of positioned in there the way that I want, and then just click outside of it. And I just made a little adjustment on that. Same thing kind of here. I'll double click on that, and maybe I want to make that a little bit more about just the cup. All right, now I'll double click on that and finish that up. So I can kind of make some adjustments on that grid with the pictures if I desire to do so. Right? Okay. All right, so that's a grid, and I want you to create a page that has at least one grid on it, and you fill that grid, fill all the sections of that grid with the with some images. Now let's go to frames. If we go back over here to elements, and I've got to close the grids window here. Frames really work about the same way. Frames are over here on the elements panel, and I'm going to do See All, and you see there's a bunch. Right? Oh, fun, letters. Didn't even know those were there. So I think I might do one of those just for kicks and giggles. I'll use an A for Arvin. So I'm going to click that, and I'll just bring that down. And it works the same way as what we just saw a moment ago here. Just size and move the frame as you wish. And then we're going to fill it up with a photo. I've still got my coffee photos up, so I'll just find one that I like. I'm going to find one of the coffee bean kinds of things here. I've seen some of those around. Oh, sorry. I'm being picky here. This one, yes. All right, so I got coffee beans here, right? So I'll just take that and I'll drop that on to that frame, and it does the same kind of thing we talked about with grids up here. Fills the frame with that image. I could double click and make the image bigger or smaller and kind of move it around a little bit if I wanted to lay it in there a different way. Click off of it when you're done. Hey, look, there we go. I've got a grid up here that's filled with pictures. I got a frame down here that's filled with a picture. So that's what I want you to know about, what I want you to do today. I'm going to come up here and rename this. I'm going to call this Grids and Frames. Cool. And again, I'll just use my download link from up here at the top. I'll click here. Canva has suggested a PDF, which again, that would be okay if you want to turn in a PDF. I'm all right with that. I'm going to switch it to a PNG. I just kind of want an image file, and I'll download that, and it's preparing my design. And you know the drill, right? If you're on your Chromebook, that'll get downloaded onto your Google Drive. If you're using a different computer, it'll get downloaded into whatever, probably the downloads folder of your computer that you're working on. All right, I'm going to close that little ad, and that's it. Let's move on to the next segment.